So my all-time favourite card game ever is the Star Trek card game from Decipher. And I started playing it as soon as it came out in 1994. And I hadn't even heard of Magic. I really like Star Trek. I saw kids playing it down at the local gaming store, and I was just hooked. I thought it looked excellent. I loved the idea of it. Going on missions, building a space line. It looked more like a board game with cards than a card game, because obviously we didn't know what card games, and Magic was really the only other one around at the time. But when you did originally get into the game, it was really hard with the first sort of starter decks that they made to actually have a good game, because you basically play the game with two decks. You have like a seed deck, which you basically build your space area, and then you have the deck that you play with. So to balance that, later on, they brought out these. So in 98, they brought out these new card decks, Premier decks, the Starter Deck 2, that came with additional cards to basically make your space lane easier to assemble if you were just playing it straight out of a pack, straight out of a deck. So you didn't need anything else. The bare basics that you needed, 6 missions, like an outpost, and a way to get all of your team to gel together, because obviously if you're opening a random deck, you're not necessarily going to get all the same faction, because at the time you had 3 main factions. You had Federation, Romulan and Klingon. And you know, if you didn't have the right treaty in your starter deck, you were stuck. I mean, obviously, as you got more cards and bought more packs, you could you'd customize your deck. But actually, playing straight out of the box, it wasn't the best of experiences. And I remember, with what I could afford at the time in 94 when it came out, just a couple of the 94 starter boxes, the odd pack here and there, it was real luck with who you got and who your friends got, whether or not you were going to win. But they addressed a lot of it with this, and this now comes with, I want to say, 8 extra cards that should smooth the experience. So, without further ado, I'm going to bust it open. I haven't opened one of these in 20 odd years, probably, maybe longer. But here we go. So I got into Magic after this, because me and my friends from school, we'd all been playing this for some time. And then a kid turned up who did play Magic. So, you know, a year after we're playing this, we start playing Ice Age. But here we go. Okay, so let's open it up. So they're not sealed inside. Okay, so we have, at the front, we have these are black border, because these are later inclusions. These are the ones to help smooth the experience. So we have an event that will help all your people work together. A Ferengi outpost, so you've actually got somewhere that you can play your people. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 missions, and the updated rulebook. And they did make quite a few changes. To begin with, there were, in the first sort of 94 edition, there were some different amounts that you could have in your deck. So you could make your deck as big as you want, but in your seed deck had to be half that. They kind of changed the sizes of deck customization, which is fine. I mean, to be fair, when we played, and we played right to the end of it, end of first edition, we would 30 card seed deck, 30 card draw deck, may the best man win. So I've always liked the back, though got some marking already, bearing in mind it's packed fresh, but it is very, very old. So the first 13 cards are going to be uncommons. So we've got Bok, incoming message, Klingon, Federation, 5, 6, 8, 9, 13. So first rare, and then second rare. And then the rest are going to be uncommons. Now, the question is, could it be playable straight out of the box? Oh, no, that is the question. Got a good mixture. Got some classic missions. Outpost. Maybe I'll put it into piles and see what I got. Okay, so looking at the Federation, so we've got 2 ships and then 5 really generic, dull guys that aren't really going to do much for us. However, with the non-aligned, we got Bok. Now, Bok's great because he's got engineering. He's an officer with engineering, he can fly a ship. Bok is good. So he's one of the better non-aligned characters and an uncommon, and pretty much always used to use Bok. He's really, really good. So with the Romulans, we actually did better with the Romulans than we did with the Federation. So this guy's okay. He is one of the few main Romulans without treachery, because actually they're all quite devious by nature. And we got Neral, who's quite good as well. And over here, 2 ships from them, and the Klingons. Now, we didn't get as many Klingons, but actually they were all quite good, with her clearly being the best, but then she is the rare. So I think personnel-wise, there is enough to make a half-decent, straight out of the deck box play it, but you would totally be looking for more memorable characters from the show because they are better characters in the game. They've got more stats, they've got more skills, they get through more of the dilemmas and complete more of the missions. So didn't fare as well with the events, so we can't use this because we actually got no medical and we didn't get any equipment that gives us medical, so this is absolutely pointless. However, we did do okay with this. So the atmospheric ionization, which is a pain to get through, it's a bit annoying, but they've got the card that lets you get through it. Did get a Tetrion field, which slows people down unless they've got navigation. Got a couple with navigation, so that's okay. And 3 other ones. Rescue to bring back someone who's dead. Did okay with the interrupts. This one's excellent. Basically lets you have another go. This one's excellent. Lets you retrieve someone from your discard pile, your dead pile. However, only 1 wormhole, little bit of a pain because you need 2 to make it work. The rest of them are okay. And a very average selection of equipment. Nothing to shout about, and unfortunately, nothing with medical. I think one of the biggest problems is only getting 5 dilemmas for the seed deck. So combine that with the couple of outposts plus the Ferengi outpost. That's not much of a seed deck. Lots of decent missions though. Incidentally, none of them require medical. So it would only be dilemmas where we would come unstuck. But with this selection and with the selection of starter missions, I definitely think we would have been able to have created a deck and had a decent game out of the box with it. So no real crazy awesome cards, but still plenty of decent ones. Thank you very much.